We're going to continue our Cubism portraits today, inspired by Pablo Picasso. But first, I want to talk a little bit about Pablo Picasso. Pablo Picasso wasn't always a famous artist. Sometimes he really struggled to sell his paintings. During this time, it was called the Blue Period because Picasso was feeling really blue. He was feeling really sad and down about a lot of things. So during this time of his life, he used a lot of cool colors, blues, greens, purples, to reflect and show the emotions that he was feeling inside. Here is another great example of Pablo Picasso's Blue Period. He was really going through some tough times. He was lonely, his friend had passed away from illness, and he didn't have a lot of money to buy things like food. So it was during this time that Pablo Picasso's paintings and his subjects were often very sad, very cold feeling, and very lonely. Then things started to look up for Pablo Picasso. He was starting to sell his paintings, he was making friends, and he even fell in love and got married. So it was during this time that he was using a lot of warm colors, colors that make you feel warm inside, and colors that make you feel bright and happy, like reds, pinks, oranges, and yellows. This period of his life was called the Rose Period. So as we learned, there were two time periods in Pablo Picasso's life that we talked about. We talked about the Rose Period, which is when he used a lot of warm colors, colors of fire, colors that make you feel warm and happy, like red, orange, yellow. And then we also talked about his Blue Period, where he used a lot of cool colors, colors that make us feel cold or sad sometimes, or lonely, or whatever Pablo Picasso was feeling. Now, just because you choose to use warm colors or cool colors doesn't mean you necessarily feel like that. You might just like the colors, and that's fine. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to choose whether I want cool colors for the Blue Period or warm colors for the Rose Period. So, I'm thinking. I think I'm going to go with cool colors. I just like the way these colors look together. I'm not feeling sad or anything right now. I just like the way they look. I think they look nice together. So what I'm going to do is start coloring the face and the neck and the shoulders of my person. Now you might notice that your crayon pack has different shades of the same color. So for example, this is green, but this is a dark green, and this is a light green. Okay, now you can use both of these if you're using cool colors. You can use a light blue and a dark blue, a light purple, a dark purple, a light green, a dark green. They're all the same color, they're just different shades of that color, light or dark. So it's okay to use those colors. So I'm going to start coloring my picture, and I'll meet you back here in a minute. All right, when you're all done coloring, check your coloring and make sure you don't see any peekaboos. Remember those peekaboos from last year in kindergarten? Peekaboos are those empty white spaces that we see sometimes when we scribble and don't take our time. And I think my coloring looks, nope, I forgot. I didn't use thick and thirsty lines. Remember those thick and thirsty lines? These are skinny wimpy lines. You know how I know? Because I see peekaboos. I scribbled. So remember, the way that we fix our peekaboos is just to use that same color crayon and go back inside and fill in those empty white spaces. All right, I'm double checking my work one more time, making sure that there's no peekaboos, making sure that my lines are thick and thirsty, not skinny and wimpy, and my coloring looks really great. So I'm gonna put this away, and next time you come to art, we will move on to part number 3.